Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's this time of the week that we like to say, welcome to Eejits of the World! With you,
Glenn Wool, and you,
Andrew Maxwell. Oh, and what a rich basket of Eejits we have for you. In the hamper of mirth this week, we have the Eejits of British politics.
and we have the Eejits of mountaineering.
And we have the Eejits of geopolitical looky-likeys. But first, ladies and gentlemen, a quick catch-up with one of our prime Eejits from last week.
Making a surprise return, not surprisingly.
It's RFK Jr. What happened next? RFK Jr. Last week when we were talking about him, he had the world at his feet and a worm in his brain.
Yeah.
He was well on his way to being the third candidate in the American election. And sadly, overnight, Mr. Glenn, it turned out at the Libertarian Party convention, he only got 2%.
How much did the worm get?
It was a heartbreaking 74%.
Wow, that's...
Turns
how I like my politics, and an invertebrate. That's who I like. Can stay out of my business.
keep off my lawn.
You can be in it, just don't be on it.
That's right.
That's their like, don't tread on me. You can be in my lawn, just not on it. Mr. President Worm.
If you don't want to get picked, stay picked.
You know what a worm's never done? Try to take my guns. Can't do it.
Can't do it. Try to pull the trigger when you're already a finger. Anyway.
Yeah, he's got a real long flag he takes to rallies. It's everything he's ever wanted to say stitched into a don't tread on me flag. Anybody want to come around and read my flag? I've added some parts. No, we don't, John.
It's the 48th Amendment.
That's the name of his podcast.
I interview other edgy worms. This worm is famous for telling people to breathe through their nose. This worm is famous for keeping foreign hoes. Anyway, well, let's move on to this week's Eejits, shall we?
Right.
That was quite a nice recap. Because, ladies and gentlemen, all across our planet, it's election season.
Oh, yes.
America's having an election, Britain's having an election, the EU's having an election, the Indians are having an election. Oh, it's absolute election mania. The Mexicans are at it, you name it, they're all at it. But we're here today to focus on the British election.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Out of the blue, Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister. I don't think you've ever seen
if
this.
You're wondering who's in charge of the country, as the people who lived here have also been.
It turns out it's this guy.
Oh.
Rishi Sunak. Every time I see Rishi Sunak, my mind is consumed by how much lunch money he has on him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just think how much he's got.
Yeah.
Has he got any folding money? How much is on that Revolut card?
Yeah.
How much money have you actually? How much? You know what I mean? I want snacks.
See, I'm just old school. I just want to like put his head in the toilet or stick him in a locker. I'm not in it for the money. I've
that's
always been
nice.
in it for the love of
Bullying.
Yeah,
just the love of bullying.
Just finding somebody smaller and letting them know. that's
I'm glad you've never behaved like that around
no,
me.
I would never stoop to that level. There's one in there. That's an extra one. I didn't even know I was going to do that one.
I think he's quite a reasonable size for a prime minister.
Yeah, I know.
Hulking
the
great wad
giant
of a man.
Rishi Sunak, as Andrew calls him. Big Rishi.
I call him Bigfoot Sunak.
I know. He's always wanted a politician he could look up to, and now he has one.
No, I can look up to all of them.
That's true. This one I see eye to eye with.
He's a swaggering 5'5" of a man. Good God. Women's just start ovulating as he walks past
Yeah.
because he's so big.
Something happens down there. You hear them ovulating as they're creaking shut.
Just
That's ovulation, right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure it is.
yeah, it looks like an abandoned high street down there. Just a vape shop at one end.
Even the bookies was closed.
Yeah. Anyway, Rishi Sunak has called an election, and if you're from around the world, you gotta go on, seriously check this guy out because bear in mind he's a politician. It's just worth saying, like, he is a politician. He used to be a banker. His wife is the daughter of one of India's wealthiest men, so there's a lot of money rattled around there. But he decided to go into politics, and I've no idea why, because he is truly mind-blowingly shit at campaigning.
Yes.
Like, wildly. Like, it's like he's never been around people. It's like he's literally he is the boy in the bubble has grown up, and now he's just wandering loose around the world.
He's found out that he never had the disease. Mother was just weird.
Mother. I call her Smother. Yeah. Anyway, he's...
Yep. Don't go around the poor, Rishi. You have a disease.
That's right, my boy. Sadly, you're completely allergic to the rent class. Anyway, he's one of his first stops. Nobody thought this election was coming, so this is entirely on him.
Yeah.
Apparently he surprised most of his own MPs.
Well, I had heard they were going to kick him out, so this is his last-ditch effort to go, you think I'm unpopular? You think I can't win an election? I'll show you who can win an election. Oh, yeah. It's not you, Rishi.
Yeah. I like it when the bank teller brings their own gun to work.
Well,
pop quiz! I'm behind! He went to Wales. Right?
Yeah.
He went to Wales, a very proud little nation, very proud of being Welsh, as they should be.
They're so proud they invented their own language.
It was the indigenous language of this island before the Germanic-speaking invasions of the post-Roman era.
That's their story, and they're sticking to it. There's no proof of that.
Sunak is just whatever is the exact opposite of man of the people.
Yeah.
He shows up. It's a little brewery in Wales. Like, I think it's sort of a pop-up kind of brewery. He's there with loads of people. The cameras are rolling. He just has to make conversation with humans. And he said, is everybody looking forward to all the football this summer? And this room full of Welsh people were like, well, not really, we haven't qualified.
Yeah.
So, we won't actually be supporting the English. And he was like, an amazing comeback. He said, brilliant. Right, he just slid straight in there. What a campaigner. Nobody has briefed him. Every picture he's taken, there was a picture of, did you see that?
Which one?
His PR photographer clearly hates him.
Oh, when he went out in the rain?
No, he chose that. It rained all day. He didn't have to go out in the rain to announce the election. That was mental in itself. No, he went to Morrison's to look at bread. So he's there. Morrison's a big supermarket chain here in the UK, and he's holding this loaf of bread like as if he's never seen bread, which is a strange thing for, you know, a billionaire husband, whatever.
Prime Minister should have
seen bread.
Seen some bread at
Before.
some point.
Yeah, it's not like some crazy. It's not like the first time you see an avocado,
No.
which was weird as a working class man. I was like, why are we eating hand grenades? Anyway, he's looking at this thing.
1980s Ireland. That's all there was.
It was 2008. Anyway, look at that. What is it? What is it? Well, there's no pin in it. Is it like old? Anyway, he's looking at this bread, and the way his head is, the Morrison sign's behind him, but his noggin and this bread has obscured some of the letters, so all that's behind him is just moron. Just moron. While him looking baffled at a loaf of bread. It's mind blown. It's like he's not even liked by his own.
No. Well, I thought that was going to be his ploy when he took charge. I just thought he's just so boring that he's going to bore us for a couple of years and then call an election where we've all just tuned him out. And then he'll be the only one who votes in it because nobody will have heard what he said. And then he'll get in on that way.
On one vote.
One vote. That's all he needed to do. He's
not even his missus was listening to him.
Rohypnol. Here he comes again. I mean, most of us tuned out at Liz Truss. That was sort of Glenn getting killed with the bat on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That was just all right. Well, I don't. You know, I was enjoying this zombie thing, but that guy just took 9 bat shots to the. We're out. Because apparently The Walking Dead is still going. And
it's like they're. Yeah, it's like they're The Walking Dead.
I know. But I just have a feeling, like, if I tune in again, are they all going to work in a Burger King? Like, what has happened? They managed to get it all up and running again.
There's a whole series about crypto.
Yeah.
There's a whole series about how the zombies got caught up in the crypto fad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep diamond hands. Market goes up as well as down. What are we talking about? It's Sunak. His plan was to be more boring everyman after so many flamboyant and shit Tory prime ministers.
Yeah. Little did he know
that he was going up against Keir Starmer.
Yeah,
a heavyweight dull man.
You call that boring? That's a boring man.
Yeah, well, this guy bores you. Well, this guy bores you about FA Cup final statistics from the mid-'80s.
The debates are just going to turn into light dinner chit-chat.
Just barbecue. Yeah, the debates would be like British barbecue chat. Just Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer just discussing which route they took to get there. Did you use the motorway? Did you? You came around the North Circular, did you? Did you come in that way, did you?
Yeah.
You used the park and ride, did you?
The A14, you say. Insanity.
Not at this time, my old flower. No. You want to go up the A12 and then drop back down through Ipswich.
When are you going to flip those? Oh. Yeah, a very British sort of. Yeah. Ooh, how dare you? Good Lord.
You know, some of these vegan burgers now, you can't tell the difference.
I've heard.
Oh, God, the rest of the whole country fast asleep.
Yeah.
But it's not, you know, I think there's over 100 Tory MPs. Bear in mind, there's 650 MPs in the House of Commons in the UK. Like, over 100 Tory MPs have gone, yeah, fuck it. Just thrown in the towel. They're not even willing to give it a go.
Yeah.
And it's like... It's almost like that crazy last day of school. There's one Tory Lord in the House of Lords. His name is Lord Sharp. Great name. Lord Sharp. And he's from the Home Office, right? So he's in charge of justice and law, locking up the bad guys. Not the ones I went to school with.
I mean, define bad.
Yes. I mean, some of these fellas are wags. Characters. But he stood in the House of Lords, which is meant to be the more fusty and grown-up of the two chambers of the British electoral system. And he said that they're basically changing the law because it's the Euros tournament this summer.
Oh, yeah.
England and Scotland did qualify.
Yeah.
And if they make it to the semi-finals, either team, they're changing the licensing laws so people, and I quote from Lord Sharp, so that people can properly get on the lash.
Nice.
Yeah, that's there you go. The Tories who spent the last 30 years being the no, don't be naughty, we know what's best party, have just gone, fuck it. I know what they like, drinking. Let them drink all night.
Well, I mean, and who looked at the British behaviour in the last one and went, you know, I think that guy could fit 2 firecrackers in his ass. And I think it's sobriety that's stopping him. I mean, why was there only one man with a flare up his ass? There should have been 33 men having a flare fight. The Roman candles shooting at each other.
Yeah, exactly. Just that wherever he lives, that too. Just everybody's just all his names are like, all right, Gary. It's not long now, is it? You getting ready?
Limping around. Yeah, I've been practicing in the garage.
People stopping his missus in the street. All right, is he? You
Right now, he's practicing.
So he's practicing. Don't you worry. Everybody, he'll be in the news. I'm going to peg the shit out of him. I'm going to peg him for St. George. So he's got to be right ready. He's got. We call him the suitcase.
Yeah. We've been getting blackout drunk every night in preparation.
Exactly.
So it won't be us on the game day. It'll be whoever we become.
People interviewing him. So you ready for the big one? Yeah, of course I am. I've been doing prison visits. Every day I just go to another prison with a couple of phones up my arse. Old ones, big ones.
Yeah, 1980.
I could get a really big Samsung.
I
right
got an
up.
ass like Miami Vice right now, if you're wondering how big the phones are up there.
I've got an ass like Miami Vice.
Big phone.
I don't know what the hell any of that meant. What? I got an ass like Miami Vice, if anybody wants to know.
Yeah.
That's
There's
it.
worse chat up lines.
He is. Everybody who knows him is like, yeah, coming in.
Yeah, what do
Fire.
you... Yeah.
Yeah. Proper firecrackers this time.
Yeah.
Because you watch, there's a geezer up north on TikTok. He's claiming it. He's calling you out. He's got
gypsy fights.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you stole all me thunder. That were my plan. But this time, for the Euros, I'm going to have an entire Catherine wheel right up me chuff. If you can beat that, mate, with your one little firecracker, I don't think I didn't notice that you were holding that firecracker in with your cheeks. That weren't rectum power. That weren't rectum power.
Yeah. That's the difference.
All right, mate, you Northern monkey. Yeah? Yeah? My arse is all the way around this stool. Yeah? I've got the entire kitchen stool right up my arsehole, mate. It's what Bobby Charlton would want.
That's right. Yeah.
1966. You think any of those heroes could stick a firecracker up their arse? It was a different time. It's a lot of pressure for the fella.
It is. And this is the election's in on the 4th of July, but the Euros are June, right?
Yeah, well,
anything now, any sort of problem is like going to be, well, this is because these dorks left the pubs open. No. So they're trying to lose an election. Is the long and the short of it.
Yeah, apparently people were in uproar because it's going to clash with Wimbledon. Good Lord. Not the tennis. Don't have to campaign while there's svelte women from the East, beautiful young Slavs grunting.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's the election. What else? There's more. By the way, this has been 4 days of election, and it's on a daily basis. The Tories are throwing up weird after weird.
Yeah. Well, and you say like the people that are resigning or not going to run. The people that are running too, they seem. There's Johnny Mercer. Have you ever heard of him?
Oh yeah,
he was on a
he was a former army officer.
Yeah, Mr. Army man. He
was out in Afghanistan and whatnot. Now he's a Tory MP.
Yeah.
And a weird one.
Oh, very strange. He got on a train and he was writing really sort of sensitive emails about internal Tory politics. Just wide out, like anybody could read it. But he also took his shoes and his socks off while he was doing it. So he's in a suit, but he's barefoot like some sort of advertising executive on a retreat.
Yeah. Finding myself.
Feel the ground. If it's a train, you just have to feel the ground with your feet. And so, obviously people are like, some guy took a picture of like, look at this dude with just his feet out. and then it went, I don't know if he knew who he was taking a picture of, but it was like, that's a politician that's done that. And he's and then they read the email that he was working on. So it was brought to Johnny Mercer and he was like, okay, the reason I had my shoes and socks off is because I was cycling across Dartmoor and I got wet. So grow up or shoot me. Some little weirdo was taking pictures of me on the train. I was like, what constitutes as a weirdo, John? Did he have his shoes on? some fucking insane weirdo man with his feet covered for some reason.
Why do they have to be the two options? Grow up or shoot me. What? No, that actually makes sense. Because we're going to bring in conscription. So we don't want you to grow up. We want you to be children with guns. That's it. That's going to be the new campaign slogan. Yeah. Grow up or shoot me.
Yeah, you're going to have only one of those things is going to happen in the future. You either won't grow up or you'll shoot me.
I say, you delinquent boys standing on a street corner with your drill music and your giant zombie knives. Yeah. Care to learn how to operate a gun from a distance?
Why don't you come hang out with me? That'll make you able to integrate into society.
Care to go camping with me in the Brecon Beacons?
Just a couple of guys slipping off their slippers.
Yes. Take those Nike off. Anyway. Yeah, conscription.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, that's honestly, the election's only 4 days in. This is a party that only starts to win the majority of polling numbers demographically in the over 65 category.
That's why they had to get the election done quickly. They were dying by the day.
Just the sound of a scythe going through the home counties.
Yeah, COVID was not kind to their demographic.
No, or time.
No,
but so conscription. Well, that'll all work out. Apparently, you've got, this is the Tories' idea, all the ragamuffins of the UK, all the kids, they'll either have to do 18 months in the army, 12 months in the army, or 25 days of voluntary work in the NHS, police or fire service.
Right.
Or 5 years in an art centre. That's the real battlefront.
Ooh. I mean,
if you want to see viciousness, work in a regional art centre.
Yeah.
That's where the savagery. That's where men become beasts.
That's not what they become.
I just nodded along. I don't even know what you were leading to.
Well, also, these all sound like punishments for petty crime. So if you're just going to have to do it, it's just going to like make people go, well, I've got one free petty crime. Because now, you know, I'm going to... So before conscription, up until 17, just do one. Just get one under your belt because it's a freebie.
Absolutely. Scrump an orchard. It is technically illegal to scrump an orchard.
What?
Scrumping.
Is that stealing apples?
Yeah. But it has its own verb.
Wow.
Scrumping.
And is that where scrumpy comes from? Is it because it's stolen apples? Because that would make it delicious.
What?
Well, scrumpy's got booze in it, right?
Yeah, cider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it was stolen apples, it would have an extra, like, we're pirates.
I was going to say more Old Testament. Just a snake giving you a double thumbs up on the label.
No, he's made a hand out of his tail.
He's just holding up Adam's fingers. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, good luck with that, kids. I got to tell you, as a 50-year-old man and somebody who's not a British citizen, I ain't fucking helping you in your new war.
Yes, I have a Canadian passport. I'd like to help, but I can't.
He's a regular one-man Omaha Beach over here. This guy.
But sadly, I just don't have the paperwork.
So, sorry about Rishi.
Yeah.
See Rishi at the front.
See us at the airport. At the fall of Saigon.
Rishi
So Dublin, you say? Link arms onto a steamship.
There's Rishi Sunak at the battlefront. Everybody on your knees, on your floor, crawl on your bellies. Not you, Rishi. You can walk. Is it okay
The finest sniper in the land couldn't. That's why he was in charge.
takes a shot? I don't know why Britain's fighting the Germans again.
It's the trilogy. Okay, they were too old when it happened, but at least it happened.
Yeah. Coming out of retirement, two dying Western mid-range countries. Anyway.
Yeah,
well,
one's going through a divorce.
one stupidly remarried their ex.
Yeah. Anyway, they need the money.
Why did I marry Aussie again? 30 years and €500 billion. They are still idiots in white denim jeans. That's us done. We're never working in Heidelberg again.
No, that's the good part.
I don't even know where Heidelberg is.
Exactly. That's showbiz.
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
Do you have a story for me?
Yes, we're going to stay on the British Isles. This is, not technically. We're going into the mountains of Nepal, where Mount Everest, every year it's getting worse and worse. Where
What, is it getting shorter and shorter? What
No.
are you talking about?
only if you're growing.
Which I am not.
I know.
That's 2 in one episode. Do you hear that? Do you hear that?
I got 4 more too. Those ones weren't even prepared.
Yes.
No, it's Everest climbing season.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and
I must have missed my invite.
Yeah, they've had a tragedy up there, which is sad, but not.
Well, people die all the time on Everest.
Yeah.
But they don't bring them, because it's so cold, they can't. A lot of them are just up there.
I know.
There's lots of, like, as you're climbing it, there's just frozen people all around you.
Well, they're also now markers, too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, have you got my green ski coat yet? No, you haven't seen him yet. Oh, well, once you do, put your oxygen on.
Because that's the reason why green ski coat is upside down in the snow.
Yeah. So what sort of scientific test did you do to find out that, there wouldn't be enough? Well, we counted ski coats in the ravine.
But it's also the amount of people that climb Everest for charity.
Yeah.
Couldn't you just give them the money? I nothing gets on my tits more in charity of. No, what's happening here is there's something you really wanted to do. You don't want to pay for it, and you can't be arsed organising it. So you want me to pay for it somehow for spina bifida.
And it's a way of telling way more people that you've done it than you would be able. Like, it spreads the information far and wide.
Did it for charity.
Yeah.
I looked into little Timmy's eyes. Little Timmy, you're not going to make Christmas. And your legs will never work again. But I want you to know, I'm climbing Everest. Somehow for you. Okay, let's get a photograph of me and my functional limbs.
Yeah.
And you. You godforsaken little torso.
All right, face him towards the camera.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, is he asleep or is he dead?
Go on, just point him in the way. That's it. That's it. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, a whole
Stay
gang
away from salt. I found it. I spoke to your consultant. It's salt. Stay away from it. Okay. Very good.
Yeah, so a load of those guys were up on Everest, and just they had some really nice weather, and like a day at the beach on a long weekend. They all scrabbled up the mountain trying to summit on the perfect day, but there's not really any means to stop anybody from going.
Other than nature.
Yeah.
Other than nature, red in tooth and claw.
Yeah. Good sense was not up there. And yeah, they went up and there was a traffic jam on the top of Everest, and they were all in a very British manner. It was like their prayer for Owen Meany sort of training just set in of all the years of forming a queue. Like, they just, right, we need queues, and the British just queued all over Everest.
Wonderful.
And they were, it was like another monarch had died. This is where they should have put her. Oh, God, and let's dig her up and bring her up here.
If we put Her Majesty at the very top of Everest, I can tell you one thing. Schofield wouldn't have skipped that queue. That's how obsessed British people are with...
Yeah, the unskippable queue.
Philip Schofield successfully kept his stuff locked down. Whatever his lifestyle was always kept under wraps. And then he skipped one queue. He's a monster.
It's still what some people don't like about him.
Well, the other stuff's never been proven. But we know for a fact he's a goddamn queue skipper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the picture. It's insane. It's like there's a good couple of hundred of mountaineers at what is called the Hillary Step.
Yeah. And this will never...
No bloody good eggs. Giles, is that you?
Oh, the business that was done in that line.
Absolutely.
God. A lot of people lost their pension plan.
Watch this. Get the camera ready. Rufus! 50 men turning around.
And they all know him. 50 Rufuses all said Charles at the same time.
Charles? Chaz, is that you? The other half of the queue looking around. Ben! Has anybody seen Ben, Tom, Dan? One syllable. Bloody good egg. Bloody good egg.
But anyway, so they're all standing in these queues, and you're really... Everest has a way of fixing that problem. You know, it doesn't like you up there. And if you stand in a queue on snow...
Yeah, it set off a sort of a mini avalanche or an ice slip, which seems to be the only thing more terrifying than the word avalanche is ice slip. I think it's an ice avalanche.
Yeah, whatever it is, you're not making it out of it. You've now become another marker on Everest.
It's horrific. Yeah, there was another British mountaineer, and as always, the British mountaineer is mentioned first, and then and the Sherpa.
Yeah, that's who I feel most sorry for is the Sherpa because
it's like so the last bit where they were queuing is, as I said, it's called the Hillary Step. Named after Sir Edmund Hillary, the Kiwi dude who was the first man to the top of Everest, along with Sherpa Tenzing, who also got there with him and carrying all his shit. Right? But it's not called the Tenzing Step.
Yeah, no, that's the outhouse. go to the Tenzing.
You can see over there, there's K2. You climb up and down that one. Get your pictures taken over there, boys. Okay. It's just for me, Rufus B and Rufus G. Take it from me, Rufus C.
9 heads turned.
Chaz! Half the guys turn around because their name's Charlie. The other half turn around because they think somebody's brought Chaz up the mountain. Yeah. There's a lot of white stuff up here, boys.
That's how they really died, trying to slip behind a rock.
I just poured it out on the mountain and then it disappeared.
Yeah, we're going to have to snort the mountain, boys.
Snort the mountain. We've taken a couple of inches off the summit.
We'll be down quicker. Technically.
I mean, it's actually very good. Apparently, it's what the indigenous people of the Andes have been doing. I do love that type of Brit, though. Like, they're rare as a hen's tooth, but they're just, they show up in Olympic year as well. Because obviously it's Olympic year as well.
Oh,
yeah, Paris Olympics.
That's right.
There was when it was the London Olympics. The Brits put a lot of money into rowing to get their medal count up for the London Olympics.
Because no one else does it.
We seem to have invented something else.
The world triple jump champions. What's in the triple jump? You don't need to know.
This competition is about visiting your elderly grandmother in Oxfordshire. It's first man to the Cotswolds. I'm going to be borrowing my father's jag. And you're going to start in a council estate in the north of England.
On your marks.
That's it. It's an even playing field, boys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they invested a load of money in rowing. And for the London Olympics, I'd been visiting some of my loved ones in Portugal. And that turns out where the British rowing team had been training, hot weather training, right, just before the Olympics. And I was on a BA flight coming back. And it turns out I was just randomly allocated a seat with the British rowing team. Right? There's like 50 of them, right? There's 2 big dudes either side of me, and the captain comes on and goes, we'd like to welcome on board Team GB rowing team, and everybody give a round of applause. And I'm like, fucking paying for the rest of my life for your fucking sports day. Anyway, the one beside me, who I then a couple of weeks later saw collecting a gold medal in the Olympics, right? He was sat beside me by the window, right? And as you flew into land into Heathrow, they had actually burnished into this field the 5 Olympic rings and welcome to London Olympics, blah, 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 right? And the captain went, as you come into land, you'll see on the right-hand side the welcome to the London Olympics sign. And he looks out of that, right? The Rowan dude, right, who's, bloody good egg. Sorry, spat on your jacket there. But bloody good egg, right? And he's looking out the whole time. The minute he's pointing out to him, he is eyes on the Olympic sign. His eyes never leave it. And as we touched down into London, I heard him under his breath say to himself, "Game on." Yes! Yes! Game on, Giles. It's on like bloody Donkey Kong.
I think you restrained yourself quite well, because how long was that flight?
It's about 2.5 hours from Portugal.
Yeah, so if you knew you had the British rowing team on, you could just constantly get them to lurch by going, row! Like, it would be so in the, sir, would you please stop getting the people to row? I just was noticing the row!
just as I get on, surrounded by these giants, halfway through the flight, just flight attendant coming down. Hi, we were wondering if you'd like to sit at the front and point in the other direction. We can't help but notice that you're the smallest man on the plane. So we have this thing that you shout into. Guys, row! Bloody row!
Yeah. They should do that. If the rowing team's ever on a plane, they should row the plane. They say, it'd be fun for the kids.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're saying is maybe climb a different mountain.
Yeah.
Or you know what it needs? It just needs one of those, a butcher sticker.
But no, yeah.
Window number 4, please. Mountain number 3, please.
But the mountain, like, just know that mountain does not want you there, and this is actual. This is true of it. Do you know the yaks that the Nepalese use to, they just use yaks for a lot of things.
Yeah.
They are known for knocking off hikers. Like, if you walk past them on like a trail, the yaks will just fuck you off.
Wow. Yak attack.
Yak attack.
Yak attack.
Right in the back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 14th series of Yak Attack. Sponsored by Red Bull.
Yeah.
Some of the finest nobility across Europe, their wastrel sons, have now climbed this mountain. Get attacked by a yak.
They do, though. It probably doesn't, who knows what actually happened up there on the mountain, but it might have just been the yak going, I fucking hate these guys.
I don't think the yaks go past base camp. They're like, this is enough for me.
Yeah, even the yaks.
Even the yaks. Anyway, we implore you all to try and look after yourselves on mountainsides a little bit more.
Yeah.
And if it's busy, just go on another day. Right?
Yeah.
That's
like
what I
have
always do.
jobs to get back to.
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't use the public swimming pool till it's sunny. Everybody will be outside. You'll get a lane to yourself. And you won't drown. Or get attacked by a yak.
Yeah.
The other thing about Mount Everest is that it's the border. It's contested space between China and India and,
Yeah.
And I've got a feud for you, my friends. Do you like the Eejits of international diplomatic feuding?
I love it.
Well, at the last Cricket World Cup, there was a massive diplomatic spat between Pakistan and...
India?
No! Zimbabwe!
What?
I know. It's going to get weirder. That's the normal part. So, Pakistan were playing Zimbabwe in the Cricket World Cup, Right? And it all turns in this massive diplomatic spat because it turns out Pakistan has a comedian and his name is Asif Muhammad, right? Asif Muhammad, and he is Pakistan's number one Mr. Bean impersonator, right? The full on, he wears the jacket, he has the teddy bear.
Hotly contested every year.
Well, it turns out there is an Indian arch rifle. And the two of them spit fire at each other on social media.
Wow.
As Mr. Bean.
Like, is that just through emoji then? Or?
I don't really know. I don't know. But they really go at it. But this isn't the diplomatic spat. This is between Pakistan and Zimbabwe. And the reason it kicked off is because the Pakistani Mr. Bean, he went to Zimbabwe before the Cricket World Cup and made an appearance at a leading agricultural show, had a police escort and everything, and pretended he was the real Mr. Bean, and everybody believed him, right? Including a police escort. Right? It kicks off on Zimbabwean Twitter, right? Because when somebody went, "We will never forgive you and your fraud pack bean." Yes. Got him. He was a fraud pack bean, not Mr. Bean Rowan. They think is the real name of Rowan Atkinson. Real Mr. Bean Rowan. Right? And they lost. Unbelievable.
That's Rowan Atkinson's Twitter handle.
Mr. Bean Rowan.
Real Mr. Bean Rowan.
At. We will never forgive you. Anyway, Zimbabwe won. Won their game. And the president of Zimbabwe, Emerson Mnangagwa, otherwise known as the Crocodile, he went, "Ha! That's for what you...
at them.
Yeah, that's for the fake Mr. Bean." Like, he looks... I've seen a picture of him. He looks kind of like Mr. Bean.
There's one difference.
I mean, he looks like a Pakistani man who looks like Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look like Mr. Bean. I mean, if you were walking through the teeming streets of Karachi and you walk past him, you'd be like, "Holy shit, that dude looks like Mr. Bean."
Yeah. But he's standing amongst a lot of people who don't
look like Mr. Bean. Absolutely. But if you're, as you'd see, like he got the regal treatment. Like the picture of him in the police escort, he is hanging out the sunroof of a car driving around Zimbabwe as Mr. Bean. Like,
what is Rowan Atkinson doing with his spare time that people thought that was a plausible thing that Mr. Bean might be doing?
This is what you thought. This is what
Rowan the state fair in Zimbabwe. Okay, well, the watermelon seed spitting contest's over, so one of the richest entertainers in the world is now going to drive around and wave at us.
He's a man who Forbes reckons is worth $250 million is now judging the toffee apples. Somewhere 20 clicks outside Bulawayo.
Yeah. So if you did spend $1 and guess how many jelly beans are in the jar, Marlon Brando is going to now come out and make the announcement.
Just Billy Zane after a hard weekend.
He's been in Zimbabwe for a while. We don't know what he's been up to, but he's doing a lot of Brando impersonations.
It seems to be working. He's met the president.
Yeah. $50 and $50.
Wow. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Diplomatic spats that we didn't expect.
No. And you wonder, like, did one country get a really good Mr. Bean impersonator, and then the other one was like, well, we have to respond. Yeah. We have to.
It's the cold-blooded logic of nuclear escalation.
That's right. Anything for an advantage.
They have their own Mr. Bean now.
Yeah, the spies and all the work has come back and just comes down in a top secret dossier. And there's just half of Mr. Bean photo slides out of the folder. No.
How has this been allowed to happen?
And then the assassination started.
Just beans. Just vanishing.
We're going to take out every Indian bean in the subcontinent. That's what's actually been happening in Canada. They've been killing the Sikh politicians. They're all Mr. Bean impersonators.
I don't think you can really be a Sikh, Mr. Bean. How are you going to explain the turban? Well,
like for the turkey.
Imagine being a fake Sikh, Mr. Bean, being beaten to death by other Sikhs who think you're the real Mr. Bean taking the piss out of their religion. How did Rowan Atkinson die? Well,
yeah.
All I can say is never go to the Punjab. Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's how I do. Yeah, I don't know who had a Mr. Bean first.
Yeah, but it escalated very quickly.
I have to say, if you look at them, Pakistan's won. They have a better Bean. Yeah. But just like their nuclear weapons, he's constantly on the move. He's just in the back of a truck being driven through Lahore.
Yeah.
Yeah. You better believe it, baby.
That is the dirtiest city name in the goddamn world.
Oh, I see. Lahore.
Is it a dirty city?
But it's French for good times.
Yeah, I'll tell you where you should move to, lady.
Islamabad? You've ruined the game! Ah, damn it. Ruined it.
Anyway, just leave the money on the dresser, sir.
Well, we wish you all the very best. And we sincerely hope for long-term peace and settlement in the subcontinent.
Yeah.
Between its two mighty nuclear powers, both India and Pakistan.
And I dream of a future where Mr. Beans of all cultures just get along.
That's right.
And they all go to a ceremony.
They all get into the same car. They all unlock the padlock one after another. Get into the same car.
Just sit in the same room and not talk.
Each one of them, it's at the UN. Each one of them in turn has at the UN General Assembly. We would like to call to the podium Pakistan's Mr. Bean. Just people holding up signs.
But they give, like people listening to the interpreter. He's not happy with the situation.
Just the world breaking off into different blocks. Madagascar's the swing vote. And finally we get to the nomination for Madagascar. The whole world looking in on the vanilla island. That's where vanilla comes from. And it's Sri Lanka! That's cool. Well, I think it's cool that there's all these rival Mr. Beans out there.
Yeah. Couldn't be worse with what we've got.
Yeah. Johnny English.
Yeah.
Rubbish. Get back to Mean Bean.
Yeah. I'm wasting your time with that one.
Exactly. I think all you need to know, Rowan Atkinson, about your career is there's nobody in Asia risking life and limb to be Johnny English.
No.
got so much more angry about that than I had no idea I had that in
It
me.
sounded like an anti-colonial rant.
It sure was.
Yes, if you just played that clip, there's a certain subsection of the population who go, yeah!
Yeah. Stick a cracker up my arse. I mean, you have to say, like, it's rival Mr. Beans in South Asia. It seems to be a whole lot more wholesome take on sporting activities than, you know what I mean, Gary and his crackers up his arsehole.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to do
That'll
this.
be what we'll replace the Olympics with.
What's Gary got up his arse this time?
You have to guess. That's the game.
That's it. Just outside Wembley. Here we go. Right, today I'm going to try and get an entire Pakistani Mr. Bean up my arsehole.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, Marlon Brando will now come out to assist.
Mental. Anyway, we wish you all the very best.
Oh.
And what sporting endeavours and electoral attempts you do
Yeah.
across the summer. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Eejits of the world, for taking part in this week's episode. Like and subscribe and all this, you know,
and comment
and comment
tell your
and friends and all
make
that.
t-shirts and wear them on your head. Don't
Yeah.
wear them like a t-shirt.
Take over the end gables of houses in Belfast, paint them with our faces. This Eejits of the
All
world.
of the things you do for your podcast that you love.
That's right. It's been a Pod People production.
Pod People Production.
Pod People production.